I once heard a metaphor about marriage that I can't forget. It says that the two most important tools in a marriage are a magnifying glass and a mirror. What does that mean? If you hold a magnifying glass and look for things to be upset about in your marriage, you will definitely find them. He didn't put his cup in the dishwasher before leaving this morning. She rolled her eyes last night when you said that sentence. He forgot your wedding anniversary. Not exactly forgot. He set a reminder on his phone, but still missed it. She keeps staring at her screen when talking to you. You see, you found one thing, then another, and another. If you use a magnifying glass to look for what your partner doesn't have, you will definitely find that too. He doesn't earn as much as your best friend's husband. She isn't as gentle as the neighbor's wife. He isn't romantic enough. She doesn't understand you enough. What you look for is what you will see. But what if you choose a different tool? What if you choose to look into a mirror? A mirror is not for looking at the other person. It is for looking at yourself. Ask yourself, did I do anything today that deserves his gratitude? Did I say something that could make her feel loved? Do I also have a lot of flaws? Just that no one is holding a magnifying glass over me every day. You know, I am especially grateful for someone in my life. She chooses not to point a magnifying glass at me. Honestly, she has every reason to. I could list them for you. No, one list wouldn't be enough, it would take a whole book. But every time I stand on stage, she sits in the front row, opens her notebook, and listens carefully to a person full of flaws talk about things she already knows. Not because I am perfect, but because she made a decision she has to remake every day. Among so many flaws she could find, she chooses to look for the beauty that still shines through a cracked clay jar. There is a verse in the Bible that I really love. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. In other words, the most precious thing is intentionally placed inside a container that doesn't look impressive. A rough, cheap, even cracked clay jar. Why? Because only then will people notice what is inside the jar, instead of staring at the cracks on the outside. Is your life also like a cracked clay jar? You look in the mirror in the morning and see a new wrinkle. You climb the stairs and your knees protest. You scroll through your photo album and see yourself from 3 years ago and can't help but sigh. Your child got into trouble at school again. Your job feels stuck in a place that's neither here nor there. Your parents' health is starting to decline. Your friends seem to be getting fewer and fewer. If you hold a magnifying glass, your life is full of cracks. But I want to ask you, can you find the treasure inside that cracked jar? Can you find one thing worth being grateful for in your messy day? Can you find even a tiny reason to keep going when you most want to give up? I'm not asking you to pretend the problems don't exist. I'm not asking you to smile at the camera and say, everything is fine. No. Those cracks are real. The pain is real. The exhaustion is real. But the treasure is real too. One day, I looked out the window and suddenly had a strange thought. That tree looks so dirty. The wall of the building across the street looks dirty too. And the car parked in my driveway. My God, it looks terrible. Then I realized it wasn't the tree, the wall, or the car that was dirty. The window was dirty. How long had it been since I cleaned that window? You see, what we see is not only determined by what is outside, but also by what we are looking through. If you look at your spouse through the lens of, I'm already so tired today, everything he does will annoy you. If you look at your friend through the lens of, no one understands me, everything she says will feel fake. If you look at your future through the lens of, this is all my life will ever be, everything you see will look gray. Maybe you need to clean your lens. Maybe you need a different lens. Maybe you need to believe that even if you don't feel it today, God's grace is still in your life. Even if you can't see it right now, good things are still happening. Even if the whole world tells you to give up, there's a voice saying to you, take one more step. I am with you. I have to be honest with you. If you want to find a reason to leave where you are now, Your marriage, your job, your church, your city, your life, you will definitely find one. I could even help you find it. That person in the parking lot who has a faith sticker on their car but drives like a maniac? Yes. The worship team sang a song you didn't like today? Yes. The pastor said something that made you uncomfortable? Yes. A coworker sent you a message with a slightly off tone? Yes. If you want to leave, you will never lack reasons. But you can also choose to stay. Do you know? In this world, taking a leap of faith is always praised. We applaud the one who quits their job to start a business. We cheer for the one who moves to a new city. We celebrate the one who begins a new relationship. But I want to applaud those who stay by faith. Sometimes staying requires more courage than leaving. Staying means saying, I know this person is not perfect, but I choose to keep loving. Staying means saying, I know this job is hard, but I choose to keep doing it. Staying means saying, I know this path is difficult, but I choose to keep walking. Staying means saying, I cannot see change, but I choose to keep believing. Staying is not because you are weak. On the contrary, it is because you are strong. The first two disciples who followed Jesus did something very simple. They followed him for a while. Then Jesus turned and asked them, What are you seeking? They didn't answer with something profound. They simply asked, Rabbi, where are you staying? Jesus said, Come and you will see. And then there is a detail in the scripture that is easy to overlook. They stayed with him that day. It's not that first step that moves me. It's that they stayed. They didn't rush away. They didn't go looking for someone better. They stayed. And that day changed their lives. Are you willing to stay where you are right now, even if it's just one more day? Let me ask you that again. What are you looking for? If you are looking for reasons to prove your life is terrible, you will definitely find them. You can list them in 3 minutes. That person who disappointed you, that money that didn't come through, that opportunity you didn't get, that prayer that wasn't answered. But what if you choose a different direction? What if you look for a reason to prove that God's grace is still here? You will find that this morning you were still able to open your eyes. You are still breathing. You can still read these words. And deep inside, there is still a faint voice saying, Maybe there is still hope. That voice did not come from you. Someone is knocking on your door. He is waiting for you to open it. He is waiting for you to pick up his magnifying glass, not to look for flaws, but to look for grace. He is waiting for you to clean your window, to see what he is doing, instead of staring at the dust. He is waiting for you to make that brave decision, to stay, to believe for one more day, to love for one more day, to keep going for one more day. I don't know what you're going through today. Maybe you are lying in bed scrolling your phone, feeling like the whole world is asleep and only you are awake. Maybe you just had an argument and your chest still hurts. Maybe you haven't been to church in a long time. Maybe you haven't prayed in a long time. But I want you to know, he is still here. He is still looking for you. Now the question is, are you willing to look for him? This article is not the end. It is a beginning. I want to invite you to pause in the comments section and spend 30 seconds writing one sentence. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can tell me. Today, what is one grace you found in your life? Even if it is small. Even if it is just a cup of coffee at the perfect temperature, a friend who reached out to you first, a song that calmed you down, or simply, you are still alive, still reading these words. Write it down. Because the moment you write it down, you are training your heart to look for beauty instead of focusing on the cracks. I will read your comments. I will pray for you. If today you made a decision to stay, to believe for one more day, to keep going for one more day, tell me that too. I want to applaud you. Don't forget, you are not alone. The one who placed the treasure in jars of clay has never left you. So, what are you looking for? See you in the comments.